Kyle, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm getting ready to hit softball.
Dude, we got a podcast. It's been like 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, I know, but softball, bro. Tell you what. Take a swing.
Okay, I'll take one swing. Man, you're right. That was really fun.
I'm telling you, dude. Softball's the
Guys,
best.
what are you doing?
Oh, we're hitting softballs.
Listen, we have a podcast to do, okay? This is not what we need to be doing.
Come on.
He's right. That's what's on deck, man.
All right, let's go. Wait. Let's just do it here.
I like it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We've been off for a couple weeks here, but we are back on deck for this next installment of the podcast. As always, I'm Kyle.
I'm Austin.
We got a lot to talk about, but not a lot to talk about. It's been a very disappointing start to the season for our Cardinals.
So bad.
Not very thrilled about where we're going, especially the placement decisions of how we're placing people.
Right now, well, they're in the middle of a game. They're winning right now, so that might move us to 11-24. But right now, we're 10-24. Awful.
It's just been disappointing.
For being the best team in spring training.
One of the biggest things, like I said, is I feel like placement. We're putting Jordan Hicks in when we should never touch his arm ever.
Yeah, it's
Like, again, I don't even care if he wears a Cardinal uniform anymore.
No, I was hoping he's going to be.
We keep putting him in and he keeps blowing stuff, but we're never going to learn. And I feel like that's not just Ollie, but that's Uppers'
Yeah, for
fault
sure.
too.
Uppers.
Mazalok and stuff too. I'm just not a fan of how we're doing things right now.
And we have zero pitching, in my opinion. I mean, even our good people from last year are doing awful. Our lowest ERA right now is a 3.29, and that's Montgomery. Everybody else is 5 or 6 or higher.
And it stinks because, with Montgomery, he's been doing pretty decent. We're just not getting him any run support, so he keeps getting loss after loss after loss.
Yeah, and it seems like our batting average, like our team batting average is, what do I have here? .259, which is 9th in the MLB, but it seems like we cannot produce when needed. We produce
We've produced when we already are down 14 runs.
Yeah.
And then we get our 7 and 8 runs, and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, if our pitching is doing good, our hitting's not. If our hitting's doing good, our pitching's not.
And it's stupid because even though our pitching's giving up runs, our offense should still be making up enough where we could at least win half of what we've lost here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand any of it.
It's been a disappointing season for Cardinals fans. Obviously, I'll never quit on the Cardinals, but I will be disappointed in them until they win about
some time. And the thing is I don't even think they're really planning on doing too much different. And that's
what's bad.
That's sad because you look at our team and how bad we are, but we don't think there's any problems.
Yeah,
how is there not a problem? We got the worst record in baseball.
Yeah,
there's a problem somewhere.
Like when we've won last year. I don't know what's our record.
94, I think, or
94,
95.
Yeah, and then this year we're probably. I mean, my first prediction we were going to win like 96 before the year started.
I think I had 99.
I think we're going to win about 60.
50 something. I'll give us 50. We'll see
sad.
how it goes.
Unless we can get some more 17-game win streaks going, multiple.
Even that, we're going to struggle. No team has ever started this bad and ever made postseason in the history of baseball. So this
now I will say,
promising.
if any team would ever do it, it would be the Cardinals.
Because we're comeback kids, but
it's
going to take a lot of coming back.
And I feel bad for Ollie. Like, I don't think Ollie makes great decisions. Like, I can't stand some of the decisions he makes.
Oh, absolutely.
But also, our higher office guys, they're not giving him nothing to work with.
No, I mean, like I said, we don't think there's a problem, but our pitching's not been good, especially our bullpen. They've been blowing. Even Helsley's blown a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
And every time Hicks comes in, he blows the game. It doesn't matter when he comes in; it's blown. Gallegos hasn't been producing. We don't have pitching. Our starting pitching isn't great. Ollie said we had in a post-game interview yesterday. Said Wainwright had a very solid, promising start. The dude gave up 8 hits and 5 runs in 5 innings. How do you think that's a solid start?
That's not promising at all.
That's
it's nice
not
to
at
have
all.
Waino back. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is nice to have that veteran back.
He brings
4
some
runs and
excitement.
8 hits and only 5 innings. That's with only like 2 Ks. That's not a good outing. That's not a good outing at all. You didn't get the innings. You didn't get the low hits, the low runs. You didn't get strikeouts. You didn't get none of it.
Didn't even get the win.
No.
Like, it's
Jordan Hicks, thank you.
yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like I thought we had a decent pitching staff, but my goodness.
And I thought we had an overall good team.
Yeah.
At least winning the division again. But holy cow, we're last in all of baseball.
I knew we weren't a World Series team
Well, we're
unless
not
we
much
got
of
lucky.
nothing
But now
as
we're
it
not
is.
even a winning record team this year.
No, it's
And
pretty sad.
And part of me wants to put some of the blame, just maybe to help our pitchers out, some of the blame on this pitch clock, because honestly, I see a lot of big name pitchers that have struggled. And it's no coincidence that they just started struggling when they put the pitch clock in. Pitchers are feeling rushed. They don't have that time to make the pitches they want to make. I think that could be part of it for not just us, but for a lot of pitchers.
Well, and like with Ryan Helsley, he's given up a lot more than last year already.
And how dominant he was
Like
last year.
he's over doubled his last year production already, as far as how runs given up and stuff. And that's crazy because he was one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball last year. He was like number 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And now he's nothing compared to last year. And guys like on opening day, we saw it with Alek Manoah. We bombed off of him.
Yep.
And last year he was dominant. Such a good pitcher last year.
Even Jacob DeGrom, like he's injured
DeGrom,
again, but when
yeah,
he came in,
he ain't doing nothing either.
His first start or second start, he got multiple bombs.
Kershaw's doing great.
Yeah,
Kershaw's doing really good.
one of the greatest pitchers of our generation.
I think Verlander's still doing all right. But beyond that, there's not many of the big guys still doing it.
No, you get a lot of people are making a name for themselves because the pitch clock is working for them and not the other guys.
I think Max Scherzer's not doing fantastic. Zach Gallen, though, is killing it. He's been a really good one for Arizona, but I don't know. It's just a weird year. Also, some of it too, and my grandpa mentioned this to me yesterday, and I got to feel some of this. No Pujols, no Yachty.
Yeah.
The hype is completely gone out of that clubhouse except for Newt, I feel.
Yeah,
There's no hype at all.
The leader we had, and obviously Pujols left us for a while, and we were okay. We did fine. But Yachty had never left us. We have never played a season without Yachty, who was the backbone of this team.
And then Pujols comes back, gives us a good run,
Big.
hypes us back up, and now we have both of them gone
Just
out.
out of nowhere. And then Wainwright's going to be gone. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to the next season either.
I'm not looking forward, unless we do a lot this offseason, I'm not looking forward to the next, I don't know how many years.
It's gonna be a struggle. We got to get pitching. Our offense is good enough where they're at as of right now to at least just go ahead and get pitching, and then we'll worry about everything else later.
Now, I will tell you this. So my sister asked me an intriguing question yesterday. Intriguing, sorry. She said, "What would I be willing to give up for Nolan Arenado, or willing to do to give up Nolan Arenado?" And she gave me some scenarios and stuff, and it got me thinking on, could this really be a reality? And are we going to be really okay with, depending on what we get, if we let him go? Now, if he's going to downhill like he kind of has been this season, based off last season, and this is just going to stay the new reality, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing. But our problem is, I don't know what we'd be willing to get that's going to be worth Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
Now, she proposed to me 2 first-round draft picks, $5 million, and Shohei Ohtani. And at that point, she got me wondering, and it wasn't fully committed, but Shohei would be an improvement.
Shohei would be great for sure. I think it would help me get over it a lot quicker to have Shohei.
Yeah, because you'd have that solid starter that we need, and we'd have 40 home runs out of one guy.
A dude that can also
and an
play
MVP
a
caliber
little bit of
every
outfield.
single year.
Yeah, Shohei's just...
And you'd have a Newt Shohei theatrical in the clubhouse. That would just
That'd bring so much
great.
hype to our team.
Oh, yeah. That'd bring the hype if we got somebody
Get
like
rid
that.
of Matz after that.
And
Hicks.
Yeah.
mean,
Okay, I'll even throw Matz and Hicks in if it gets a Shohei.
Yeah, I'd
if
give
it gets a
them away for
Shohei, some
piece of bubble gum.
prospects, I'd give you, $100,000. Yeah, you can have Hicks. That buys me a Lambo. Good enough for me.
Take it.
Buys me a used Lambo. I'm all right.
Gets us less losses and we get a Lambo.
Yeah.
Take it.
You're telling me.
My goodness, you could put anybody out there that's going to do better than half of our pitching staff this year.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Yachty, we made this deal after Yachty retired, to go out and get us a replacement catcher who was going to do the best he could do to fill Yachty's shoes.
And we got the best
We got
possible scenario we
The
could have
best
got.
we could get.
Wilson Contreras.
He plays not even 30 games at catcher's position. And our front office and Ali, they all meet and they say, let's not let him catch for a little bit. Let's make him be a corner outfielder, first baseman, and a DH a little bit. Why? Because we think our pitchers are going to do better with a guy named Andrew Kisner. Andrew Kisner,
who they're more
is
familiar
just-
with, is how they put it. They're more familiar with Kisner, so maybe they'll do better than with Contreras, who they're not familiar with. Okay, number one, I got too many rants on this because this is bull.
Awful.
Number one, there's an extra out in the lineup that we guaranteed because there's no bat in Andrew Kisner.
No.
Versus if you had Contreras catching and somebody else there, you wouldn't have his bat in there. You'd have another decent bat. There's strike number one for me. Strike number two, defensively, he's never going to be Wilson Contreras or Yadier Molina.
Not even close.
Not a chance. So there's strike number two for me. And strike number three for me is how is he better at calling and doing the game than Wilson? He's a backup catcher who isn't good at all, that somehow won the spot for a backup to Wilson, and we think that he's going to be a better option behind the plate for the pitchers.
Do I feel
He
bad?
can't frame like Wilson. He can't
No.
throw. He can't defense like Wilson. He can't hit like Wilson. How's he better than? He can't call the game like Wilson. How's he better than
No.
Wilson behind there for the pitchers?
There's not anything better. The speed's not even better than Wilson.
No, not a chance.
And the thing I feel so bad about for Wilson is they're literally just putting the blame on Wilson and why our pitching sucks.
oh yeah,
That's literally all they're doing. They're saying, well, it's Wilson's fault. It's pretty much what they're ultimately
and Wilson,
doing.
and he stepped back up. He's almost hitting 300 again.
Yeah.
And he's being the Wilson that we know and that we wanted, and it's fantastic, and I love it. But now we're just giving ourselves an extra out because Kisner ain't ever going to get the job done.
I
don't get it.
What was said in that meeting to really make this become a reality.
But they all need smacked in the face.
There's not one person in this world that agrees with this decision except those three or four in there.
That meeting group is the only ones.
And I'm not even sure Ollie
I'm
agrees with
ticked.
it.
I'm literally this season's become an absolute joke and a laughing stock for us. And it's basically just killing our fan base. Like, we've always been loyal fans and stuff,
Yeah.
but we've always had a half-decent team to work with. Right now, everybody's just being stupid enough that it's kind of ruining that.
Let's talk about another just super awesome move they made is sending Jordan Walker down, who was hitting, like 276, 280
With
at the time.
3 or 4 homers.
And then they brought up a guy hitting 230.
12-game hitting streak to start his career. And now, congratulations, you're going back to
You're
the
going
minors.
back down. We're going to bring up a guy who hit
We're going to bring in
230.
Taylor Motter, and now he's gone.
Which, to be fair,
And Yepes is back.
I don't even say to be fair, because Jordan Walker was doing great in MLB. They shouldn't have took him back. And then he's hitting like 170 right now. We're in AAA. But honestly, it's because he is making so many switches. In fact, he's never played in AAA. We brought him straight from AA
to the majors, and he done
then
great.
sent
And now
him to
we're sending him
AAA.
back down to the AAA,
We're just kinda
where he's never played
setting
again.
him
He's
up
got to
for failure.
restart. I don't agree with anything that the Cardinals are doing this year.
Our
I don't agree
outfield-
with any of this.
Our outfield, besides our center fielder, I'm not 100% sure who our center fielder needs to be yet. But we need Walker and Newt in the corners. That's all I know. Walker and Newt every day in
At
the
this
corners.
point, I'd almost just package deal Carlson and O'Neill and just go out and get a star. Even if it's a starting pitcher, which is what we need. Just get a star like Shohei, get a somebody.
We could put Newt
You know,
in
and then
center
at the
field.
same time too, an adjustment to a different team, a different pitching, a different coaching, everything could even benefit a struggling O'Neill or a
Big
struggling Carlson. Now Carlson has at recent a couple home runs here these
Yeah.
last couple of games, but is his average good? No.
He's an up and down guy.
Yeah, and Tyler is the same, but he's
Yeah.
been a lot more down than up.
Now he's on the IL again.
Yeah,
I don't know why I
I
didn't
don't-
read that far into it. But,
back tightness
oh,
again,
gotcha.
which I feel like some of that is a inter clubhouse issue, not
do
just
too.
an injury.
I do too.
I feel like we just don't want him to play, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And
But I feel like a change of scenery could honestly do him some good too, just the same as it does us good. I think it could be a good win-win. Obviously, I'm a huge Tyler O'Neill fan, but at the same time, just because I like him, if he's not going to do good for
Right.
us, I don't want him playing.
if it's not going to help our team
I want the Cardinals to win, not just Tyler win.
Right. That's the same thing
That's-
with Nado. Like,
That's the problem. I don't know. We've just got a lot of issues to work out, and I don't think they're ever going to get resolved the way our As long as DeWitt and Mazalok and Ollie's in there, I don't think they're going to get resolved.
I wish they would.
And I feel
sell
like
the
this
team.
is the same kind of reason that Matt Holliday stepped down.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this is the same reason Skip left us, is because we're not willing to fix the issues that we have and admit that they're issues.
Mm-hmm.
And
just-
it's a load of garbage.
Every time a game ends, Ollie is on there making excuses.
Yeah.
Excuse after excuse.
Wainwright had a
after
good
excuse.
outing. Bull! Hockey, he had a good
And then
outing.
let me just call Ollie out after he called the fans out for saying there ain't nobody as frustrated as anybody in this clubhouse. Let me tell you something. These fans are paying money to watch us lose. You're making money to help the team lose. So yeah, we're probably more frustrated than you. Sorry,
So I
Ollie.
say you're still getting paid, regardless how many games you win. You get incentives for if you make certain goals. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Postseason you get a bonus. World Series. Blah blah. But we're paying money every single game, driving an hour away from where we live to go see this game, just for us to be trashed because you guys won't admit and fix the problems that we have.
Yeah. And again, I won't put it all on Ollie, but whenever he said that,
And
kinda ticked me off.
I feel like they're going to lose a lot of fan base this year. Maybe not completely.
No,
Just
we'll still
at the
be
game,
a-
just in person at the games.
Right.
I feel like they're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to lose a lot of fan base supporting them there. People are just going to go to either watching TV or waiting until they decide to do something about it before they start watching again.
I am one of those who have decided I'm only going to go to one or two unless they do something big. Just
I've
because
already
I don't
been
want to say I
to one or
haven't
two,
won.
and I got free tickets, so I guess I'm going to go to that one. But beyond that, I don't think I'm going to go.
I'm like, unless you guys start doing something more.
No,
I'm
I
not
almost
wasting
went
my money.
yesterday just because the rain held off. It's Miggy's farewell tour. I'd like to
Yeah.
see him one last time because I don't even remember if I ever seen him in person before.
Yeah, I can't remember if I
And Wainwright was back. So I just, in a cool Ryan Helsley bobblehead.
I almost went last Tuesday at the last minute just to see Shohei and Trout. Literally, not even to see. I'm literally trying to find
if it
games.
wouldn't have been a day game, I would have went
No,
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
That was my day I was going because, of course, I had softball Tuesday.
Right.
Not even mad about it, though. But
First dinger.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I knew you weren't about to say it. I'll say it. First dinger over here.
finally got my first softball homer out. Thank you. Thank you. I wasn't going to brag, but if you're going to say
I'll do
it.
it for you. It's a big accomplishment.
Drove in 10 runs between the two games. Next guy behind me only had 3. I was pretty proud of my first game performances. Last year I was awful. I didn't get my first hit of last season until like 4 games into it, and I'm like, well, this is garbage. I know I'm better than this. So
Maybe we should-
I'm glad I picked it up early this year.
Maybe we should change this baseball podcast to our softball podcast, since that team would probably do a little better.
Starting to say we're already
Yeah,
1-1.
my goodness.
We're starting off better than
You're 9 wins behind the Cardinals already. Let's go.
I'm starting to say, and also too, we scored 17 runs our second game and 14 our first game. Well, I don't know that I really have or care to say too much more. I've ranted enough today.
Yeah, they've heard our plea. Get some more pitchers.
Yeah, get pitchers.
And that's the bad thing. We're gonna have to wait for a while too until trade deadline stuff starts happening, because nothing's gonna happen until then for sure. I just know
sure.
that.
Yeah,
But
you
we're
guys
kinda
know
stuck.
our piece of it.
Yeah, I'm sure
And just
everybody
know
feels the
we're
same.
not by any means in any different boat than any other Cardinal fan. I'm sure if they're actually a fan that follows and knows what we do, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they all feel the same way. A lot of people are still going to have hope in them, and I get it, and I want to have hope in them, but
It's hard.
if stuff don't get fixed, and then there's no reason. It's just going to be the same. You know what the definition of, it's not stupidity. Idiocy, maybe.
I know what
Idiocy,
you're talking
stupidity,
about. That.
something. The definition of it is doing the same things over and over again, expecting the same result. Well, that's the exact same thing the Cardinals are doing within the case of continuing to put Jordan Hicks in to blow games, continuing to put Gallegos in to blow games, continuing to put these other guys that can't hit in. You're expecting different results in the same thing. So,
Yeah.
it's just dumb.
I will say the one thing I'm going to try to give us Cardinals fans a little hope is we go to Chicago tomorrow, and I know people are like, what does that have to do with anything? It seems like when we play the Cubs, our best comes out when we play the Cubs. So maybe our best will
Our
come
only
out.
problem is the Cubs are second in the division and
And
actually doing good.
The same thing with us is their best comes out when they play us too. But maybe we'll
And they're
get
already
something
doing good
going.
as it is, and we're doing
Yeah.
trash. So we'll see how it goes.
So that's just my
I guess
little
we
bit of
weren't
hope.
done ranting. We're just going to keep going.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's hard not to.
I know. There's just so much
Like,
bad
sorry,
going on
but
right now.
I'm hoping hoping
At least
maybe
Nolan
tomorrow.
Gorman's stepping it up.
Yeah,
We'll give
absolutely.
some kind of good credit to somebody.
And-
Nolan, we love you.
And Goldie's going for back-to-back MVPs.
Yep.
Hit 2
Home runs today and
at
is-
least so far. I haven't
Is
seen
over
anything else.
320 batting average because he was like 312 going into today, so he's got to be over 320 with those. So we're happy with them, but
When was the last time a team had an MVP with like a
Back-to-back
60-50
MVP? Oh.
win record?
I don't know. But we're about to find out this year with the
My
Cardinals,
goodness.
hopefully with Goldie or
That's gonna be
Gorman,
the
one or the other.
Biggest hope, biggest
Gorman's
thing
up there in
about this
home
year.
runs. He's 8 or 9 right now. He's up there in the top 5, I
Mm-hmm.
think, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop.
Yeah, I better. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we're gonna
get
have
worse.
to. Thanks for watching again, guys. We really appreciate it. Sorry we're not as consistent as we were thinking and hoping to be. Just a lot going on in life. We're gonna try and at least every other week give us a little bit more to talk about. Have a bigger podcast if we can.
It's hard to talk about this team.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about this team as bad as they're doing. Maybe if we give them a couple weeks back to back, they'll at least have a little bit good to talk about.
Maybe
So,
we'll be in the 20 wins maybe
Next
by
time.
a couple weeks or
we'll pray for it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks again, guys. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.